Well, hello and welcome to our tips and tricks session, planned to help you maximize your Reaxys experience. I'm Majo, a member of the Customer Success Consultant team. I support academic and government Reaxys users worldwide. Today, I'll be showcasing a case study focused on reaction searching, and then I'll share some time-saving advice with you. I'm joined by Irakli from the Solutions Engineering team. He supports Reaxys A&G prospective users in the Americas and will present a case study focused on organomechanics searching. With us are also two customer consultants dedicated to our corporate users. First, we have Scott, who supports users from the US West Coast and will present a case study on off-target effects. And Jose Maria, who supports users from France and Southern Europe. He will kick off this session with a case study centered on patent discovery. So, without further ado, Jose, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Maho, for the nice introduction. I will start with effectively that question that would be a case study of I need to review several patents that are published this year so I can be on top of a topic. In this case, it would be thermal contact, since I need to be having an edge on my competitor. So how can Reaxys can help me effectively in that task? So to do that, I will just jump to Reaxys. This is the quick search. Probably all of you know about it. And I will type just my question, thermal contact. So that's my topic, right? Pretty simple. I'll click in Find. And now Reaxys is providing me with a number of documents that contain that topic. So I just need to click to view the results. That's the result page in which I have filters, and I have the number of documents with all the content within, apart from, of course, the full list of documents that's pretty high. Since I'm only focused on patents from this year, I could do that pretty easily from here by filtering by publication year and by document type. That would be the way to go, but maybe this is a pretty simple case. Sometimes things need to be reworked after, and that's why Reaxys is that helpful. It's really transparent, and if I click here in preview again to see the number of hits that I got first, you always have the option of edit that in the query builder to see what Reaxys has done to provide you with that set of results. So if I click here, it's taking me to the query builder in which I have the query. Pretty simple, right? So it's based on a combination of title, abstract, and keyword search on thermal, and a second one combined with an AND Boolean operator in which I have contact or contacts. That's basically what Reaxys did. How can I improve that? It's pretty simple. I will give you some tips for that. So the first one, Reaxys has done it for us. It's the semicolon that allow us the possibility of adding synonyms into a line of search, into a field. Second one would be the asterisk. So if I type an asterisk here after thermal, I will retrieve not only thermal, but anything starting with thermal. So thermally, for instance. And that's maybe some results that I was missing in the first place. Then, last thing for this part, it would be that you can change the Boolean operator. And is the default one, but if you want both terms to be extremely connected, you can use a different one. We have near and next. They both allow you to specify the number of words of distance between both terms. Next would be in the specific order that you introduce them. Near, it wouldn't mind which order are they placed really in your query. So if in my case, I want them to be really connected, I can say near 3, so they will be 3 words away. that's already something that we have improved to get to more specific results. Then you can add as many fields as you want. You have them here in the right, and if you don't know where to find them, you can type the one that you want here. If you don't, we have as well some forms ready to be used, done by Reaxys. So if in my case I'm interested in patents, I can click to open all the fields related to patents here at the bottom. Okay, you can fill the ones that you want, that's fine. You can remove the ones that you don't want to, but really you don't need to fill everything. You just fill the information that's important for you. In my case, patent, that's already there, and the publication year, that would be 2024. And that's it. So I've done my query already, and I can search for documents from there to retrieve the final lists of documents that are relevant for me. And last, you can sort them differently. And from here, that's something that you may have already seen. You can sort them by relevance to retrieve the most relevant results for you, in which the keywords, well, the topics that you introduced are placed preferentially in the title or the abstract rather than in the keywords. And in that way, you would be able to get the most relevant results first. Is there any question? That would be the final part of my topic. Are there any questions?
Yes, and the first one, is there a way to save my queries in Query Builder to avoid repetitive query construction?
Yes, that is a really nice question, and it's something that a lot of customers ask me about. So indeed, this takes a lot of time to be built. Sometimes I was pretty fast now, but it's a process that takes a lot of testing. And indeed, if you wouldn't be able to save it, it would be really tough sometimes. So that's why you have the option save here placed in the top left part. You can save that. You can click under save form and you would have them accessible. So first, normally I recommend you to have it under Reaxys Online. You can select the name that you want. So let's say Reaxys user day, and then you can either have the forms, well, the fields with the values that you want or empty. That's up to you. It really depends on the search strategy that you have. So in my case, I will say include current values, and I will click in save. And it will be automatically stored under the forms part, under my forms here, and it will be appearing here. So it's one click away from me. So if I delete everything now and I click under that query, everything's coming back again. So again, if it's something that you have not finished and you want to go back to it to rework afterwards, that's something you can do as well. You can save it to rework that after. Are
Nice.
there
I
any other
believe we
questions?
have time. Yes, I believe we
Great.
have time for one more.
Yeah.
I'm doing most of the searches myself and sharing the results with my team. Could I share the query as well so they can use it?
Yes, that's also a great question. It's sort of related, but yes, of course you can do that. That's also something I have been asked sometimes. So let's say that I have built this one. I will open it again. You can save it from here and instead save query. So you can export that into a file that's being opened here. That's JSON file that you can share with everyone. Then you just need to import it. So if I were to do that, I would just come to the import button here and drag the file to let Reaxys know the query that I have, that I want to import, and everything will pop up here in your screen. So that's the way to go. So I think I will pass now to my colleague, Scott, that will be talking about off-target effects. So Scott, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Jose. I appreciate your talk. So what I'd like to do today is to talk about how to evaluate the interaction that specific scaffolds have with certain targets. So let me share my screen. And in Reaxys, what we can do is we can draw a specific scaffold. And I'll draw it in quick search. And we'll draw the quick scaffold. I'm drawing it using Marvin.js, but you can easily draw it in ChemDraw and copy and paste the structure into Marvin for further analysis. So what we'll do is we'll draw the scaffold here. And what we'll do is we'll perform a substructure search on all atoms, which will give us a greater diversity of results. So we'll transfer over to the query and perform a search. And as you know, Reaxys is an aggregator of multiple databases, including a substance database, a target database, a document database, reaction, and commercial substances database. So all of that result is evaluated in each of those databases. We're currently interested in the substance database, and to view the results, what we have is we have the series of results. In fact, we have 1,700 results, which conform to the scaffold of interest. And what we can do is we can see those 1,700 results interact on 122 targets. Okay? To get an idea of the potency of some of these, we can actually do this. We can actually look at what's called the pX value of those specific substances. And the pX value is located on the left-hand side of the filters, and it shows you a pX of ranking from 10 to 11, which there's one substance, 9 to 10, which is 12. The pX value is basically the negative log of the inhibition constant. So a pX value of less than 9 is subnanomolar. A pX value of less than 6 is submicromolar. Okay. To view the action of these substances on these 122 targets, we can go over to the bioactivity visualization table, click on that. It opens up a new window which shows on the left-hand side all 1,700 of those substances listed on the y-axis and all 122 targets listed on the x-axis. You can use the navigator to screen different regions of the bioactivity visualization table. And you can also see that there is gray dots on top of columns in the y-axis and gray dots to the left of rows on the x-axis. The gray dots correspond to the number of targets, the number of substances that interact with each specific target. And likewise, the dot on the x-axis corresponds to the number of targets that are tested against one substance. You can see in this table that there's a lot of white space. Okay? A suggested hint to remove some of that white space is to go back in the Substance tab, click on View More in the pX value filter, and under the No Entry Given, we can exclude those data points from further analyses. So now what we have is we've gone down to 283 substances that act on 71 targets. In the bioactivity visualization table, okay, what we see is we see much less white space, and we sort of catching a glimpse now of some different targets that are acted upon by these scaffold-containing substances. For example, we see a series of substances that act on the hydroxytryptamine receptors. We see a series of substances that act on dopamine receptors. We see a series of substances also that act on sodium-dependent dopamine, noradrenaline, and serotonin transporters, as well as the toll 7, 8, and 9 receptors. Okay. What we can do now is filter these for just those specific targets that are most reactive with these scaffold-containing substances. And to do that, you can click on the individual targets which are acted upon by most of these substances. And we can limit the table to just those targets. And now what we have is now we have a very clean table of different substances that act on specific targets. In addition, the great thing about this is we can actually click on the individual cell it opens up a new window which gives you back the official reference of how that px value was determined. A px was determined at 1.6 nanomolar, which corresponds to a px of 8.8, using the IC50 parameter. We can adjust these columns for the individual cells. In addition, we can also change the settings of the table. Okay, so for example, we can change the x-axis from targets to, if we were interested, we could look at cell lines that were used to evaluate these references. In addition, we can also export these data, okay, using the new layout. And what I have is I've already exported this. And you can see here is the table that we have, and each of those substances are listed on the y-axis and the targets on the x-axis. So what you export is the exact table that what you see on the screen. And with that, I'd love to accept questions from the audience. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Scott. I believe you already answered your questions during the presentation. The first one was, which value is exactly displayed in the bioactivity visualization? So,
that's a good question. Let me show you how to get that. Under the settings icon on the upper left, it opens up a new window which shows you that the value of cells. And what we can do is, in this case, we filtered for maximum px value, but it also gives you opportunity to filter and to show the values as an average of the px value, minimum or median values.
Okay, and the second question, is there a way to export the data?
Yeah, and like I said, I just went into export up here in the upper left, and it allows you to export all available data using a new layout, which one of the concerns that our customer has had before was that we were exporting too much data from the bioactivity visualization table. Okay, the new export platform allows us to export just those data that are exhibited in the table to allow you to analyze a more refined set of data using whatever platform you like. Thanks for those questions, Majo. I appreciate that. If there are no further questions,
and
no further questions. I'd like to introduce Irakli to talk about some organometallic compounds. Irakli, take over, please.
Thank you, Scott. Let me share my screen. Give me one.
Okay, I believe we are, Irakli is back. Some technical difficulties. Irakli, can you hear us? In the meantime, Irakli is back. Welcome back, Irakli.
Thank you very much. I apologize for technical difficulties. Let me share my screen very quickly. And
okay.
I want to make sure you can see it. And thank you all for joining us today. Reaxys contains a vast amount of information about organometallic compounds. The information comes mostly from two sources: scientific literature and patents. However, searching for an organometallic substance data may be a very challenging task, even for advanced users. What I will show you today is two easiest approaches to search Reaxys for organometallic substances. I will deliberately use simple, well-known compound, Wilkinson's catalyst, for illustration purposes. Wilkinson catalyst is the common name for a coordination complex of rhodium with tris triphenylphosphine chloride and use as a catalyst for hydrogenation of alkenes. I would recommend always start searching by name using simple Reaxys search box. So I will start typing the name, and right away you can see that there are two different spelling representations for Wilkinson catalyst. We will select the first one and search for it. As you can see, database found 9 substances and more than 4,000 documents associated with the Wilkinson's catalyst. We will not be discussing the document search at all today. Rather, we will concentrate on the 9 substances found. The substance records are sorted by reference count by the default. This is very important. If by some reasons your search results are not sorted by reference count, please change it. The first compound has the most references and probably contains the majority of property and reaction data, as you can see here. However, and this is also very important, the other records also may contain important data. For example, if I scroll down, I want to show the record number 5 and record number 6, which are named red and orange. These are treated as different compounds, although the structure looks the same, and probably have the different physical properties. The bottom line for the name search is that one should examine different name spellings and word combinations to do as comprehensive search as possible. However, this is not always easy or even possible. So, what is the next easiest way to search organometallic compound if name search is not giving the desired results? You can do it by searching the structure. So for that, you open the structure editor, as previous speakers already shown you. And the best way to start structure search is to draw metal and all possible ligands using structure editor. In our case, we start with metal, rhodium, select it and drop it on the canvas. We also select phosphorus, chlorine, and benzene ring. So let me make it bigger. It is very, very important not to connect component with bonds, because sometimes coordination is not represented by the bond in Reaxys structure representation. Again, do not connect metal and ligands with bonds. The trick here is to set substitutions on relevant atoms. The easiest way is to set maximum substitutions. So I need to go to the menu, context menu, select maximum substitutions, and set in on the all relevant atoms, in this case on rhodium, phosphorus, chlorine, and also one of the benzene ring atoms. And transfer the query and do actual search. Now, you see that Reaxys returned almost 10,000 substances. Too much, obviously. However, if you sort the result by the reference count, again, this reference count sorting comes as an important step recurrently. So you will see, and it's set here by the default, you will see that the most relevant compounds are at the top of the search. Again, sorting by the reference count is a crucial step to get relevant results. How can we make our search more specific? The structure query can be combined with other queries. For example, let's exclude from our 10,000 substance searches all compounds which have oxygen in it. For that, we go to Preview, select Edit in the Query Builder, So what we have now, we have previous query we designed in a query builder window now. Let's add additional conditions. In this case, I will add molecular formula field to communicate with Reaxys that I want to exclude certain class of the molecules containing certain atoms. So in my case, these are oxygen atoms. So first of all, I will change the operator from is to contains. And here I will fill the string oxygen molecule. And just in case, I will give the range. Basically, what I'm telling Reaxys is search given structure, which is given in the first field. However, exclude all the molecules containing oxygen atoms from 1 to 20. And since I want to exclude, I need to change operator, which is by default is AND, to the not, and do the search. As you can see, we are substantially down from 10,000 compound through 3,600. Again, everything is sorted by reference, and most important and most relevant compounds are at the top of our search. So the most important take-home lesson with structure searches is do not try to connect metal atom. Again, if we go back to the original drawing, not to connect metal atom with ligands, with bonds when you are drawing the structure. Just leave them and put them substitutions on them. To summarize, to search the metal organic compound, start with the name search. If name search does not give satisfactory results, use structure search as described and possibly combine it with other queries. Thank you very much. And Maho, are there any questions for me?
Yes, but I'm afraid we only have time for one. So
okay.
What if I get too many compounds by entering the metals and ligands as described? How can I narrow down the selection?
That's an excellent question. And there are two ways for that. The best way is to first be more specific when entering structures in the structure editor. For example, if you know more about the ligand, you can incorporate as much information as possible. Put substitutions on very specific atom, link ligand atoms, not with the metal, but with themselves, with bonds, if you are sure that bonds are present in the molecule. Second, combine your query with one or more queries in the query builder, like I already showed you. Again, you are not limited with one field. You can add arbitrary number of fields and combine with arbitrary combination of logical operators. This will increase the query specificity and will give less relevant records in your search. With that, I think I will give floor to Maho. Let me stop sharing my screen.
Thank you, Irakli. So, okay, for my case study, I was inspired by an academic request. The questions I was asked were, I want my students to answer the following questions: in which year, volume, issue, and article of ChemCatChem was the synthesis of 1,4-chlorophenyl 1H pyrrole reported, following the Clauson-Cass synthesis with no solvent assisted by microwave irradiation and with a yield equal to or greater than 80%. How can they use Reaxys to find this information? So let's go into Reaxys and apply some of the fantastic tips we have learned today, and begin with a quick search combining text and structure. For the text input, I will use our name reaction, and for the structure, I will use our insert structure from name functionality and just indicate our target molecule. I'll also take care and add the arrow to specify that we want to synthesize this molecule. So I'm going to transfer to the query, click here in Find, and to avoid start reading one by one all the different listed conditions until find the answer, I will refine our search here in the query builder. So to streamline the selection of fields, I will just add the form called reactions and fill out only the fields that are relevant for us. So under reaction data and conditions, I will put microwave. Then yield 80, solvent neat, that is the proper word or the proper expression to use in this case. Then I will change the is, and here again is for contains, and choose the symbol related to greater than or equal, specifically here in this yield numerical field. To finalize, I will change all the AND operators related to our reaction form to proximity operators and execute my search. And voila, we have our answer. The article was published in ChemCatChem in 2013, volume 5, issue number 12. And clicking here in abstract, I can actually read all the full name of the article. So let's take some questions now. I'm going to read out aloud, and I noticed that you have a transfer tab with a code in the query builder. Can you please explain how you got it and how does it works? And that is actually a very nice catch because I passed like super quickly this part. So this transfer field and all these different codes are unique and correspond to each of the different reaction classes that Reaxys has indexed. If you try searching for a different reaction by name, you can verify it. So this is like an automatic way of classification that you can use in your benefit to find specific reactions. So to finish this tips and tricks session, let's jump to the time-saving advices. So the first one, remember to always register and always sign in here in Reaxys. Under your profile, you can set up your preferences related to the suppliers, the structure editor, the retrosynthesis parameters, as well as the user interface. Remember that you can also set up emails alerts for structures, reactions, targets, and documents to stay on top of your research interest. And here in the tab called alerts, you can actually manage those. You can also export and import structures or reactions when working with the structure editor to avoid redrawing. And when working here in the query builder, you can either save your query or your personalized form. And also from the history tab, you can save your recent queries. So that's all for the tips and tricks session. On behalf of all my colleagues, I want to thank you for your attention and participation. We will follow up with all the unanswered questions in the following weeks. And please, if you have any kind of doubt after this Reaxys user day, feel free to reach out to your dedicated customer consultant or Elsevier representative. Well, back to you, Randy. Okay, so